What if the thing you were born to create doesn't exist yet? What if the reason you feel like you don't quite fit into the world around you is because you're here to build something entirely new, something that only you can bring to life? See, most people wait for permission. They wait for the path to be clear. They wait until they're ready. But if you're doing something that's never been done, there is no clear path. There is no permission slip. And ready? That's a lie we tell ourselves when we're afraid. Here's the truth. You will never be fully ready to build the life you've never seen before, because no blueprint exists until you create it. And that's exactly what makes your story so powerful. Have you ever had an idea that made your heart race, but the moment you thought about actually starting, your mind flooded with doubts? Who am I to do this? What if I fail? What if people laugh? That fear isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign you're standing at the edge of something meaningful. Every person who ever changed the world felt that fear. Every artist, every inventor, every dreamer who dared to build something from nothing had to face the same question. Will I wait for the world to approve of this, or will I start now and let the world catch up later? It's easy to follow someone else's path. It's safe. It's predictable. But if the thing you feel called to build doesn't exist yet, you can't follow. You have to lead. But leading is lonely. Therefore, you'll need courage, not company. And here's the twist. Most people are too afraid to go first, but they're desperate for someone who will. That's where you come in. You want to know why your idea feels strange to others? Because it's not theirs. It was never meant to make sense to them. It was meant to move them. And movement doesn't come from familiarity. It comes from fire. Your fire. But your fire will die if you smother it in self-doubt. Therefore, you must protect it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. That fire is your future. That idea, that vision, that crazy thing you keep putting off, that's not a distraction. That's the map. That's the raw material your purpose is made of. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. No one is coming to build it for you. No mentor, no investor, no lucky break. The cavalry isn't coming. You are. But you're not empty-handed. You have your story. You have your perspective. You have a dream so bold that it won't leave you alone. That's not a curse. That's a calling. But here's where most people stop. They see the mountain and they freeze. They say it's too big. I don't have the resources. I don't have the time. I don't know where to start. But the ones who actually change their lives? They start anyway. Therefore, the magic isn't in having it all figured out. The magic is in momentum. One step, one action, one imperfect beginning. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to take the next bold, messy, terrifying step. And then another, and then another. And before you know it, you've built what didn't exist before. Because you refuse to wait for permission. You want proof? Look around. Every song you've ever loved, every book that changed your life, every invention that made your world easier, every movement that shook the earth, none of it existed until someone ignored their fear and started anyway. But most of us look at the finished product and say, I could never do that. We forget they were once where you are now, scared, unsure, underqualified, and still, they began. Therefore, the most powerful thing you can do today isn't planning. It's starting. Even if your voice shakes, even if no one believes in you yet, even if the only thing you're sure of is that you're not sure at all, that's when it matters most. That's when the real creators are born. Not when everything's perfect, but when it's not, and they do it anyway, because that's what separates the dreamers from the builders. The dreamers wait, the builders start. So, which one are you? Will you keep waiting until you feel ready? Until the fear disappears? Until someone else validates your idea? Or will you become the kind of person who creates what doesn't exist yet? You don't need a guarantee, you don't need applause, you need guts, you need stubborn hope. You need that quiet fire in your gut that says, this matters. I don't fully know how, but this matters. Because it does. And maybe you're thinking, but what if I fail? You might, most do. The first version usually flops. The second barely works. The third? That's when the spark catches. That's when you find your rhythm. Therefore, failure isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your masterpiece. Every wrong turn is honestly a lesson. Every setback is like a setup. Every awkward, unsure, uncomfortable first attempt is part of the price you pay for a future you can actually be proud of. You won't be great at first. You might not even be good, but you'll be real. And real is where it all begins. People don't connect with perfect, they connect with progress. So be brave enough to be seen trying. Let them witness your climb. Let them see you sweat, struggle, fall, and rise. Because one day, someone will look at what you've built and say, because of you, I started. And that moment, that's everything. So today, I want to challenge you. Start before you're ready. Start even if it's ugly. Start even if your hands shake. Start small. Start scared. Start anyway. Because the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs you. Real, raw, courageous you. The version of you who doesn't wait for permission. The version who understands that waiting for the perfect moment is honestly the fastest way to let your future die in your hands. There will never be a sign from the universe that says, now it's safe to begin. In fact, the universe is waiting on you to make the first move. Therefore, go first. Build it badly, speak it awkwardly, write it poorly, launch it messily, create what doesn't exist yet, because you exist. That dream inside you, that's the seed. Your action, that's the water. Your belief, that's the sunlight. And yes, it will grow, but only if you stop burying it under excuses and fear. Your story is needed. Your voice matters. Not because it's perfect, because it's real, because it's yours. Because there's someone out there right now praying for a solution that only you can create. They don't know your name yet, but they're waiting for what you've been too scared to begin. So don't wait until you're ready. Ready is a myth. Ready is a trap. You don't need to be ready. You need to be willing. Willing to fall. Willing to rise. Willing to go again and again and again. That's how greatness is built. Not in one moment, but in 1,000 small, messy, brave ones. So today, make a decision. Will you create what doesn't exist yet, or will you let fear be the author of your story? You are more powerful than your doubts, more capable than your fears, more necessary than you realize. You were not born to copy, you were born to create. So create loudly, create badly, create often, create before the world is ready to understand. Because you don't owe the world an explanation. You owe it your contribution. Make it bold, make it ugly, make it real. But most importantly, make it now. And if this message stirred something in you, if your heart whispered this is for me, then stop scrolling, stop waiting, stop hesitating, and start. Your future is waiting on your courage. This is your moment. This is your sign. And this is You 2.0. Subscribe if you're ready to level up your life.